Welcome to MSC 201. You'll need to take some time this week to become familiar with our course. Let's look at the Blackboard course materials first. On the home page here, you'll see announcements, and each week I'll have an announcement about what we're working on and what the due dates are that are coming up. On the left toolbar, let's click on Getting Started. There's a welcome message here, along with information about the Student Success Center and also IT support. On the left toolbar, click on Syllabus, and you want to make sure that you read the syllabus carefully so that you understand how the course is going to run and how the grades are done and information about the My Stat Lab work and things like that. And if you'll notice in the syllabus here, scroll down, I think it's on the second page right here. Here's the required textbook material. We're actually going to be using a Pearson product, and you're going to actually get an account, an access code to let you register in the My Stat Lab course. And we'll do that in just a second. I'll show you how that works. You're also going to need some kind of a basic scientific calculator, nothing fancy. If you don't have a TI 8384, unless you really want to use it for the course, I wouldn't ask you to buy it because the technology that we're going to use in My Stat Lab will do more than enough work for you in terms of computation. Important to point out at the bottom of the syllabus, the very last page has a weekly schedule of assignments, and I would suggest that you print this out and you could keep it close by where you do your work. You can check off each week what your assignments are, what you've completed, and the due dates are listed. The only exception on the due date on the discussions, your first initial posting is due on Friday night by 11:59 of that week, and then the final posting is due on Sunday by 11:59. Let's go back over to the course and let's look at one of the weekly lesson modules. These are pretty much set up the same way. Let's take a look at week 1. That's where you're going to begin. And on the top level, you'll see the learning outcomes for that particular week. And then in each module, there'll be an introduction that tells you about the topics covered, and then the activities and assignments here will list the assigned readings, the learning and graded activities, and there'll also be links here. In this case, there's 3 handouts that are section notes for the sections we're covering in the textbook. Also want to mention in the My Stat Lab work, you must score at least 60% on each of the homeworks in order to unlock the weekly quiz for that particular week. Week 1 has a syllabus quiz. Each week you'll have a discussion on the discussion board to participate in, and then there's a conclusion, a wrap-up that talks about what we learned this week. Some of the folders, let me just click on week 2 for a second. Starting in the second week, we'll actually start using some software that's available in My Stat Lab. I'll show you that in a minute. And so here you'll have a handout with the StatCrunch commands, and you'll also have a link to StatCrunch videos right here, my playlist. These are videos that I've made that show you how to use StatCrunch in order to work the problems in My Stat Lab. Okay, so let's go through the registration process. So I mentioned that before, and back in the syllabus, you're going to be registering on the Pearson platform. So you're going to go ahead and click on this registration link right here, which I already did, and it'll take you to this page here. And you need to enter what's called the course ID, which again, I've included right here in the syllabus. It's my last name, and then there's always 5 numbers to go along with it. So I've got too much on there. Let's go here. So you want to copy that, copy. I lost the W, but we'll type that in when we put it over here. Oh, I already have it. I did it before. So you're going to put that in there, and then you're going to hit continue. And it's going to locate that program, a particular course, and you'll see it right over here. If you already have a Pearson account, you're going to log in right here. If you don't, you'll create an account here. Okay, I've already got an account, so I'm going to go ahead and sign in so I can show you what happens on the next screen. So on this screen, you have a couple of options. If you've already purchased your access code from the bookstore, you'll just click on access code, a box will open up, and you'll put in all the letters and symbols that came in that access code. You can purchase a code here. Ignore this one. This is the 24-month. You only need the 18-month. You would click on here to purchase it here with a credit card. Lastly, if you're waiting for financial aid, you can get temporary access. That's good for 14 days, and that would be to click here. So you have several options there. You will have to purchase the code at some point during the course because you will be doing work in My Stat Lab each week. All right, so let's take a look at the My Stat Lab course. So when you first go in there, the home page has a calendar, And you have some ability to manage this calendar. Looking to go ahead next month. So our course is starting in April, and you notice on the calendar, there's little dots here. Blue dots are homework assignments, and this box here tells you there's a quiz due. You have the ability to manage the view of this by day, by week, 2 weeks, or a month. That's really up to you. On the left toolbar, it's organized by the same weekly modules that you see in Blackboard. You also have a link to your assignments here and a link to the software package that we'll use for the work starting in week 2. And then let me show you the weekly modules. In these weekly modules, it'll tell you what we're going to cover, and then it'll have an access here to, you can get to the homework from here, you can get to the weekly quiz, and then also you can get to the section, each section where you have some video presentations and the e-text. Go back to the main menu. On the assignments page here, this has got all the assignments for the course. And you notice down the left side here, they have the due date, and then you'll have a link to the assignment. You can also use the drop downs here to only show homework or only show quizzes, and also to go down by chapter. I want to point out the little green flag here, which is again reminding you that you have to get 60% on all those preceding homeworks in order to unlock that weekly test. And it'll keep track for you. So if you've only gotten to 60% on 2 out of 3, the green flag would be just warning you that there's one more that you need to work on. You have unlimited attempts on the homework. You can go back to the homework as long as you worked on it at least one time before the due date. Your quizzes, you have 2 attempts. What I suggest you do is take your first attempt. You can review what you got wrong, see what the right answer was. Look at that, focus on the areas where you missed points before you try to take it again. And I will take the highest grade. I also want to point out on homework, on many of the homework problems, I'm going to go to a problem in section 2.4. There's what we call homework help. So when you're working on a homework problem, and the help is going to depend on the particular question that you're working on, it's called question help rather. Over here, there's a drop-down menu. So we've got help me solve it, which will help you solve this exact problem, but when you get finished, it's going to give you a new problem to work. So if you've worked part of the problem already, this is not the option you want to pick. View an example will work a similar problem, but will keep the original problem that you were working on. If there's a video that demonstrates the concepts in the problem, it's linked here. If there's an animation, here's the textbook section. Here's a link to StatCrunch. I'm going to urge you not to use that link for right now. The tech help is not extremely useful because it shows all the technology that might be used with the problems, and there's a lot of different packages, so I would kind of stay away from that one. Ask My Instructor will send me an email with this particular question, and I will write back to you with an explanation on how to work the problem. And I wanted to show you, beginning in week 2, we will use StatCrunch, but just for an example to show you, click on the icon to view the data table for this particular problem. This section we're working on scatter plots. So if I click on this, it opens up the data set. And if you notice this little icon here, it says click to open the table. And you have 3 options. And we're going to go ahead and open it in StatCrunch. So it's going to open the data right in the software package that you will be using to analyze data. And then across the top toolbar, there's all different options for tools that you can use. And you'll learn about those as we work through the course. And again, I wanted to mention you will have access to videos I showed you those in the week 2 module. There's also assigned media here, which is the same video that would be most appropriate for you to look at. And these are videos that I created. There's also screenshots in the section handouts in the Blackboard course that show you step-by-step how to work a problem using StatCrunch. I want to mention that our proctored midterm and also one other thing, the question help is not available on the weekly quizzes. However, StatCrunch will be available for you. You'll have a proctored midterm and a proctored final in this course. They'll be proctored using Proctorio. And I just want to emphasize that in order to be successful in the course, you need to keep up with your weekly assignments. I recommend, again, printing out that schedule I showed you before, keeping it close to your computer. I don't extend due dates, so you need to keep on track of the due dates. The course builds from week to week, so it's important to keep up with the assignments. But I look forward to working with you, and I hope we have a great semester together.